So you've begun this new partnership, and Caleb Plant, and certainly helped him to a spectacular knockout there against Andre Durrell. How did you guys hook up?
Well, what happened is like if you with the same promotional company, your guys will be on the same cards. So you just form different um you just become colleagues, you become friends, you become cool with guys. So like I've been around like a lot of the guys that's been with PBC for the last 10 years because Julian signed with PBC in 2012. So Caleb fought on a few of his undercards. Like I've been around them, so he's always been cool. And I'm cool with Anthony Durrell. You know what I mean? Like you get cool with guys. You know, you get cool with trainers. You know, I'm cool with pretty much all the trainers. Ronnie Shields, you know, Mike Stafford, all the guys that been there. Kevin Cunningham. You say what's up, man? You talking? You know, how y'all doing? You know, how was camp? So I always knew him. We always talk. We always busted up. Same way I know the people from Showtime. It's like one of those things.
Yeah.
So I always thought highly of him. Always thought he was a good fighter. I always thought he was real athletic. I liked him. Actually, you know, matchmaking is piggybacking. So even though he's bigger than Julian, he fought a couple of Julian's old opponents. Like, you know, they remix guys until they can't mix them no
Mm-hmm.
more. So there's a guy named Jamar Freeman and Julian fought at 54. Caleb was trying to make 60. Caleb fought him at 60. So we always talked. We was always cool. I was in Vegas when he was training for Canelo. I went past the gym, watched him spar, wished him words of encouragement. And after the fight, you know, I heard from one of the higher ups at PBC that he was going to be looking for a new coach. And you know, me and three other trainers was the candidates. So he called me, and I told him, I was like, look, man, you know, I know people might be recommending me, but I don't want you to feel no pressure in picking me as the trainer. You know, me and you still gonna be cool. You know, it ain't no sweat off my back. I don't want you to feel no type of pressure because this is a big decision in your life. And you know, if you pick me, I want it because you think I'm the best guy and because you want me, not because somebody else told you to pick me. And so I went out to Vegas in April. We worked out. I really liked what I saw. I'm assuming he liked what he saw. He came to Philly twice in the summer, so I kind of had the hint that I would get the job. And then he told me like, "Look, man, I'm gonna pick you. You fit my style the best. Let's get to work. I already have my opponent. You got experience working against him, Anthony Durrell." And I'm like, "Cool." You know, I'm not a diva. I didn't need much. You know, I was like, "All right, that's cool. Let me know when the date is. You know, make sure y'all give me a nice Airbnb. I don't want to be rooming with no fighters. You know, I need my privacy." And they was like, "Cool," you know, and that was just that. And then we just had a real
That's
good
great.
camp, you know.
A great camp, and certainly a
We did.
spectacular win.
It was
Uh,
it was one of the best. It probably was the best camp I ever been part of. To be honest with you, he's real professional and he's real detailed. Where like as a trainer, all I got to do is show up. I don't got to ask him to do nothing extra. Everything he literally like his wife prints out a piece of paper like a schedule that we gonna follow all week. So it's easy. You know what I mean? Like it's not hard to run a camp with a guy that disciplined, that detailed. You know, every single thing, every day is planned out perfectly. So it wasn't a hard camp, you know, to deal with at all. My hardest part was getting home on the weekends to see my kids. You know, that was
yeah.
it was an easy camp. It really was. He's a real pleasure to work with from his professionalism because a lot of fighters they kind of wear you out emotionally when you got to tell them to do little things all the time. But he's not like that. You know, he does everything he's supposed to do all the time, 100% of the time.
So Caleb and now David Benavidez have agreed to fight now in early 2023. I know obviously you're Caleb's trainer here. How do you see that fight playing out in the ring?
That's a great fight, man. That's a great fight. I'll tell you something funny, Brian. Uh, Caleb called me last week and was like, "I can't sit down, man. I don't know what the hell is wrong with me." So I'm like, "What, man? What you like? Was you lifting weights? You got some kind of weird injury?" I'm like, "What you mean?" Like, I said, "I just read that you signed up in the Benavidez fight. Now you telling me something wrong with you?" And he was like, man, my nuts is so big. I'm fighting that dude. So he got like a funny sense of humor. He had me cracking up. So I'm like, all right. I'm like, what's the date? And he's like, I don't know yet. I don't know if it's going to be April or May, but we bumping. And I'm like, cool. I think it's a great fight. It's the perfect style matchup, you know, which you got the pressure fighter, where's the boxer. It's a great fight. I got a lot of respect for David Benavidez, man. I don't disrespect fighters. It's a hard sport. Everybody wants to be a super critic on what guy should do this and what guy should do that. Like, this is a hard sport. So I got all the respect in the world for David Benavidez. It's a great fight. We got our work cut out for him, but I'm confident in Caleb that Caleb could pull it off.
Darrell was on The Last Stand, and he said, listen, same thing that you said. He said, I think it's going to be a great fight, but he says boxers with movement give Benavidez problems. But I think Benavidez's hand speed and punching power will be the difference. What do you say to that?
Look, he's been in there with both of them. That's his opinion. I can't, you know, I can't. Actually, whenever somebody is asked to predict a fight, all it is an educated guess. Don't none of us know for sure. You know what I mean? Like, so people, Anthony has a right to his opinion. Most people think that David's gonna beat Caleb, and that's cool. I'm with that too. Like, that makes the victories better. You know, that's his opinion. You know, so it's up to me and Caleb to, after the fight, some people to say, damn, man. You know, you get more respect for taking fights that people think you're gonna lose. You know, and guys, you know, in this era, they taking 80-20 fights, 70-30 fights. Everybody know that they're going to win the fight. You still got to go out and execute, but very rarely guys taking 50-50 fights or fights as the underdog. Right now, Caleb, you know, he pulled this off. He putting PBC on his back. Don't nobody want to fight David Benavidez. He's supposed to be the monster. So I hope everybody say that after the fight, because that's what he's supposed to be. And this the third guy Caleb fought that he's the underdog. He was the underdog against Uzateki. He was off a year. Uzateki, he don't look like a monster now, but he looked like a monster after he beat Andre Darrell.
Right.
He fought Canelo as an underdog. Now he's fighting David Benavidez as an underdog who everybody ducking. So, you know, you got to give the kid his props. This is a real hard fight, you know, and, you know, guys ain't making these fights. They just not. Yeah. You know, they just not. People find the reason not to make fights, and he found the reason to make the fight. So you gotta get a dude his props, and I'm looking forward to it. You know, so whatever anybody have to say, that's fine. You know, I don't argue with nobody's opinion because that's what it is. It's an opinion. But the fact is that Caleb didn't have to take this fight right away, and he took it. And we're gonna see what happens when the fight happens.